Hello, hello. Welcome back to another episode of Wrath of the Righteous. How you doing? I'm Serial. Nice to meet you. Welcome to the channel. We're just getting here after doing a bunch of side stuff. I think now is pretty much like the last chance before I make a push into the Great Garrison. Certainly, I would like to sell. Well, I wonder if there's anything really of nice value in here. I mean, a couple +1 weapons doesn't seem like it. What about armors? No. It's all mundane stuff. This is Dark Omen. Okay, grants some Raven Feeble, Scare, Ray of Exhaustion, Fear, and Waves of Fatigue. Okay. Wow. That's a nice add to any spontaneous caster. Say, like the Oracle that's tilting me these days? Anyway. Claws of the Neophyte. Guess I could buy a half plate for myself. So over the course of being off camera, I went ahead and leveled everybody up. So now we're all level 5. So you're Horgus' daughter. You've discovered my most terrible secret. Father cares so much about the Gworm name that he raised me in our mansion, hiding me away from the whole world. I always thought to be grateful to my father for everything he's done for me, even if Mendev society disapproves of some of his decisions. It would be insolent of me to beg for your discretion regarding what you know about us. Oh, okay. Let's keep this as our little secret. I assure you my father and I appreciate loyalty and decency. Both myself and my father, I thank you for your understanding. I found a number of interesting implements and accessories in the Gworm Mansion. How kind of you to share that you've gone through the Gworm's dirty laundry and drawn some bizarre conclusions. If you value my company, please refrain from making such insinuations in the future. I probably won't ever figure that one out. Anyway. There's a storyteller to talk to here. The blind elf looks better than he did last encounter. His clothes are clean and his pale face has some color. The elf turns to you and listens closely. Is that you, my savior? I recognize your footsteps. Determined footsteps, befitting a determined person. Allow me to thank you again for saving me. Please accept this humble gift as a token of my appreciation. The storyteller's ring. It's a small black ring with 2 scarlet runes on it. Okay. Erebeth has explained why you are looking for me. I warned the authorities of Kinebris that the local warstone has been desecrated. They waved off my warning and paid for their inaction. It's true. I've examined the many ward stones, but only one guarding Kennebrus had I sense a flaw. A spot of corruption inside. A vulnerability the demons were surely used. They are able to spread the blight inside the wardstone, corrupt it, and make it their weapon. It frightens me to think what would be capable, what it would be capable of. The wardstone must be destroyed. Really? Who are you, and why did you let you examine the wardstone? Smiles faintly. I am the storyteller, just an old elf, and a bit more. I am old, even for an elf. I have seen many things and have been to many places. Not so long ago I witnessed the making of a young kingdom in the Stolen Lands led by a remarkable and promising individual. My advice on the complicated matter of conquering those lands proved useful to that leader. Talking about Kingmaker. This is not uncommon for me. Some seek my advice or services, and I don't refuse. This is how I acquired my reputation as an old vagrant who's never hurt anyone, stayed out of others' squabbles, but sometimes gave good advice. I've had a few friends in Near Sand who vouched for my integrity. This is why my humble request is to be allowed to see the wardstones was granted. I visited all of them, but only found cause for alarm in Kennebrus. Do you wield some special magic power, some instinct? Chuckles. Yes, to a certain extent, but it's more of a gift. I can see the past, stories that have happened. I touch an object, and a shred of its owner's memories are revealed to my mind. Their emotions, passions, and tragedies. I see visions like I am them, and their stories happen to me. This is my power. I've been roaming the world gathering such stories for many thousands of years. One day I will gather them all. Alright. So what blight is concealed in a wardstone? I'm afraid I don't have an answer to your question. To understand the nature of this blight, we need to understand how the wardstone was created. And it is hidden from me. That I can only guess. Have you heard of the Red Morning Massacre? A dreadful morning remembered with fear even by those not yet born at the time. A demoness called Minago invaded the city with a crowd of her followers and started to do what demons do best, kill and desecrate. They said they covered the wardstone with pieces of dead bodies, splashed it with blood from top to bottom. Could such an abomination darken than the radiance of the gift at Omde herself? Locals seem to think this is impossible, but who knows? It was not the last attack. Many demon leaders brought their unholy forces here, even the terrifying Baylor god. Karamzadeth? Karamzadeh? Okay. Well, there's that if you want to read it. Yeah, I'm butchering that one. Anyway, their attacks were rebuffed, but they still reached their target. I think this is when the seed of corruption was planted in the stone. It wouldn't have grown on its own, but Tascari himself has now come to take advantage of this weakness, to open the abscess that has been festering for years, unnoticed by the people of Kennebrus. When the demon lord struck the blow, the weakened stone gave in. Now it's in the demon's hands, and nothing is stopping them from spreading the blood throughout the entire stone, and from it to the other stones along the whole perimeter of the world wound. Alright, why did you travel to the wardstones? I tried to see their stories. The visions I had when I touched the wardstones were unclear. I saw hundreds, maybe thousands of different stories at the same time. They followed each other like flashes of lightning. It was impossible to separate them. I couldn't understand where one of them ended and the next one began. Alright, so I've heard you. In that case, you must make every possible effort to destroy the corruption. Unfortunately, I don't know where to get an instrument powerful enough to banish it from the wardstone. As far as I know, there is nothing like it in Kennebrus, but the demons might have something. gotta go back out. No, I don't. I already found it. I heard the dying roar of Talindarev, the Silver Dragon, the protector of the city. At the same time, I felt a wave of unfamiliar power sweep over me from head to toe. I advise you to go where Talindarev perished and search for something. I'm sorry I can't be more specific, but the intuition and a strange sense of rightness tells me to point you there. Found this in the square where she perished. What do you make of it? Reaches out and says softly, even from here I can feel strange energies emanating from this object. If you don't mind, I will examine it using my method. I will try to see the past of its owner, their emotions, the shreds of their memories. Maybe it'll help me better understand what we deal with here. With that, he touches the knife, his fingers clamping around the hilt with a hungry, masterful grip. His face contorts into an evil grimace, his voice disgustingly raspy. Hunger. My many legs bring me to my lair, my mother's feasting hall. Her swollen body overfilled with food that is so huge I have to look at it with all my eyes at once. On top of her scrawny little head with a long beak is like always yearning for more food. You feel feverish in your chest with the mysterious wound is concealed. It feels hot. Your mind is flooded with a wave of visions that repeat the words of an old elf. Mother greets me with a placid screech. Stupid greedy wretch, knows only achievement is my birth. A creeping wingless creature. It's your fault I have no wings. A symbol of greatness, a birthright I should have received from my mighty father. Mother points me to a crowd of whimpering subjects, suggesting I fortify myself with their pathetic flesh. Not today. I summon my spawn and they fly to me, enveloping me in a teeming cloud. Like dark buzzing wings, they unfold behind my back and lift me up. Mother has always been stronger, but she did not expect this. I dive on her and rip her limb, bloated body with my claws. Ichor splatters, the bones spurs on my heels sink into her flesh. I clench her pitiful tiny head, tear it off along with the shreds of meat. Victory! I am the strongest. I am the son of the winged father. The elf grimaces with distaste. His voice becomes normal again. Appalling. Stories like that are the most difficult ones to keep with me. Did it belong to a demon? The storyteller opens his mouth to answer, but a sudden spasm crosses his face. A new vision, a much stronger one, engulfs the old elf. The malevolent undertones vanish from his voice as it grows more determined and tired. I'm getting a bit winded. Even looking at a ward stone is difficult. Despite the corruption nesting in it, it still has an aura of strength. Your fingers clench the stone hilt so tight it hurts. A little spot on the flawless surface of a ward stone draws your attention. It looks like a butterfly. Corruption in the guise is something utterly harmless, but it will grow. You swing and stab the butterfly with the knife as hard as you can. Your fingers cramp painfully. A howl invades your ears. Light. White light everywhere. The stone knife falls from the elf's hand. Out of breath, he drops to his knees. He is trembling with the terror on his face, so unlike his usual dignified manner. What was that? That was not the past. That was something that is yet to happen, or rather might happen. One of the roads to the future, and one of the possible futures. This item will help you cleanse the wardstone, or to destroy it. You feel a longing to take the stone chisel and plunge it into your chest, right into the wound as it opened up. It's hard to resist this feeling, but at the last moment your self-preservation instinct takes over and you manage to keep control of your own hands. The old man stands up. He looks completely stunned. Never before has anything like this happened to me. But how? I am not an oracle or a prophet. Or is this another riddle from the past that has caught up with me? I must find out. Seeing stories that has happened is one thing, but seeing stories that are yet to happen, I don't know. Why is this happening now? Well, and there's one thing I'm sure of, this is not a coincidence. This is a sign of coming changes, great changes. Alright, I shared your vision and this knife tempted me. Did you see what I saw? This has never happened before. Could it be the magic of the object that you brought me? I sense dark energies in it that can cloud and charm the mind. Be careful with this item. It may have tried to influence you, but you managed to overcome its power and subdue it. Or perhaps something else happened, something you don't understand. Can you see the future? I don't know. Obviously I can, but nothing like this has ever happened to me before. The future never opened its secrets to me before I met you. Gods, who are you and why have our paths crossed? I feel this is not a coincidence. Something momentous is happening. Destiny is pushing us towards something, but what? Questions without answers. I swear this morning I couldn't have imagined what awaited me. Maybe it's the knife? It is a powerful artifact, but I feel that this power is of a different nature. No, I felt the same as I do when I felt the past. This is my gift, but manifested in a completely abnormal way. Is what you saw destined to happen? No, the future is not set. It used to be a long time ago when the god Eredengard and Galorian, but not now. Prophecies do not come true, or they do, but not in the way they were supposed to. I only saw one version of future, one of the paths leading to it, but the choice has not yet been made, and our destinies are not yet set in stone. Who were you in your vision? I don't know. Someone strong and desperate enough to resort to extreme measures. I felt that what I was doing had to be done. Powers are amazing. A few minutes ago, I would have agreed with you, but the thing that what has just happened, it disturbs me. My gift has never manifested like this. Something has changed, and these changes frighten me. Alright, I'm gonna end that. That was quite detailed. Yeah, what made you join up after all? You mean instead of carousing far away from Kinabris and a small army of mercenaries protect me? I'll get to that. You see, when you appeared at my door out of nowhere, I was washed with bravery and heroism and started tossing demons right around like the rat dolls. I thought your company might be more exciting than my usual crowd of psychopathic hanger-ons. You seemed competent and mysterious at the same time, so I decided that a little demon hunting wouldn't hurt, especially with such an intriguing entourage. That party has been growing staler with every passing second anyway. Alright. Needless to say, I'm not here for long. I shall return to the capital or even one of my country estates as soon as we reclaim the city. Crusades, bellowing commanders, row upon row of identical tents. This is not the life for me, but I will certainly remember you and our adventures together for a week, or perhaps even longer than that. Oh my goodness. Let me get a drink here. Alright. What do you cherish most in life? There are far too many things I cherish to fit all into a single conversation. Believe it or not, I might be one of the most life-loving people you have ever known. Dalaran smiles. His eyes took gleaming with something different from the usual impudence and irony. There's a dreamy air about him all of a sudden. Oh God. I rarely meet anyone who embraces the joys of living as enthusiastically as myself. There's so many exciting and beautiful things in the world. It should be illegal to waste your time on anything you do not enjoy. And I'm not afraid to repeat that to anyone's face. It should be Ascari, his demonic herd, or Almade, the Lightbringer herself. Alright. What do you hate the most? The feeling of helplessness. I lack the control over my own life. Dare implies without thinking, then he adds with obvious sarcasm. And onion rings, of course. I'd murder the person who came up with those abominations. Yeah, you don't seem especially keen on helping people, but your knowledge of heal is truly impressive. Ah, if you really want to try out everything life has to offer, you also have to understand how to deal with the consequences. And I'm not talking about a simple hangover, mind you. Alright. I don't think I've ever taken the time to... Where are you from? A little bit. I'm a little bit from Gab, a little bit from Catapesh, and mostly from the Knights of Almade. I was accepted to begin my training at 14. I belong to the ranks more than I belong to any other place. Come to Minda by a long road, haven't you? A very long one, she says cheerfully. Travelers is expected to have amusing stories. Unfortunately, I have about 3 tales of any interest, and I like to save them for our next feast. Otherwise, I won't have anything to show for myself when it's time to start bragging. And that just won't do, especially since when I win the night with a cautionary tale battle with the chupacabras. Oh yes, see, this face grows serious, and they do it very quickly. They bite one victim, suck out their blood, and then strike the next victim quick as lightning. But now you've tricked me out of a storytelling would tell. I might as well do it properly. Oh my goodness. Picture a small town, Kodira, and down in the dungeon there are two murders waiting to be executed. The gallows are already built for them, the rope's been brought, and sometimes life takes a surprising turn. Suddenly, a paladin of Iomade appears in the doorway and offers the murderers a deal. If they go with her to fight some monsters, they'll live. If they survive, that is. There's a big difference between imminent death and probable death with a glimmer of hope, and wouldn't you say? So here we are traveling through the desert, me and my friend, a priestess of Serenray, along with a little rat fellow who asked for her help, and the two cutthroats. We'll get to the Ratful village and see their bodies lying on the ground, all drained dry. We figured to have to fight vampires, but that's how the little rat folk described the monsters who attacked their village. That's why we all went all brazen-like. The sun was high, and the vampires couldn't attack until dusk. But we never got the chance to look around. Black shadows quick as the wind attacked us from all sides. Not vampires, but chupacabras. One of the lads we pulled from the gallows got killed right away. The second one ran for his life. That left me, the rat folk, and Kira. That was the name of the priestess, and we all steeled ourselves to the fight of our lives. Lore accurate, okay. And just when we thought the end had come, the chupacabras surrounded me like a pack of dogs around a bear. Our rat folk friend wounded it down, and the teeth of the quick as those blasted monsters clenched on Akira's shoulder. Right then, when all hope was lost, yet a lad from the gallows suddenly comes running back. He kills the beast attacking Akira. I'm sure you know what the turning point of the fight looks like. Well, this is it. The moment before, we were lost, and a moment later, we had back under control. The chupacabras dropped dead one by one. The little rat folk is reunited with his family who are hiding in the basement. The priestess and I closed the eyes of that boy from the gallows who saved us, and it was a shame he didn't survive the fight. May the gods keep his soul in his journey through the afterlife. Aww. That's a good story. And I fancy the stunt earned him some points in his final judgment. It's smart to remember our journey doesn't end in death. Had it not been for that mercy, Milos, that was his name, would be hanging from a noose, and me and Kira and all the rat folk would be dead in that village. Someone told me that a kind deed done by an unkind person is 100 times more precious. By the same token, an evil done by a noble soul is 100 times more horrifying. That's what I really wanted to say. The chupacabras were just a good starting point. Okay. Meet you a paladin of Iomade. Gaze sharpens and then sighs. That's a serious question and a good one. You should ask it of your companions. But it's a long story. To start with, 12 years ago, I was nothing like the person I am now. I roamed the streets of Solku with the other homeless orphans. I stole, I fought, I was a hired sword for a bit. Not of proper origin for a paladin, is it? Back then, Solku was a city of orphans, widows, and widowers. The gnolls decimated the city regularly. My parents were among their victims. People have heard about new deaths before they finished mourning their previous losses. One day, a group of knights found who brought a glimmer of hope to our city, but while others saw them as saviors and protectors, I was busy pricing up their noble horses and their gleaming mithril armor. Yeah, wondering just how much one of these pretty swords would fetch. Okay. Yeah, see, I remember mentioning that. A thief lives one day at a time, that's what they say. I was the type that never thought past the next job. Anyhow, I was always able to sneak into a knight's camp and steal one of their mithril helms. Pauses in her voice sad measuring. And I was right there when a gnoll attacked the helm's owner. Asimi was her name, and dealt a blow to her unprotected head. A gnoll, like all the others, she'd fearlessly driven from the gates of Soku. That one blow was fatal, and who was really blamed for her death? The gnoll attacker or the young thief named Sila? Yes, you're right 1,000 times over. I hate to say it, but I didn't see it back then. And if I had never got that lesson, my eyes would probably never have been opened. Who knows what would have happened for me if it was for seeing her bravery and her death. Maybe the world would know Silo as a bandit, not as a knight and protector of those in need. There's a saying I like to remember. People rarely find redemption on their own, so I must show them the way. Okay? But you were asking what brought me into the ranks of Iomede's warriors. We all choose the paladin's path for our own reasons. Some are guided by nobility of spirit, some are a desire to fight injustice. I became who I am through penance and a debt unpaid. The day Asumi died protecting my city, I wanted to kill myself for the terrible guilt I felt. But then I realized it wouldn't make the world any better, and I decided that instead I'd try to take her place. I've become who she had been, and protect the innocence that would no longer be able to protect. Alright. That's enough for now. Are you looking for something more? How about covering myself in glory and becoming the hero of 100 ballads, or at least a dozen if they're lively ones? Sela's eyes shine cheerfully. Anyway, to be more serious, the area around the Whirlwind is the best place for a paladin who wishes to defend the weak and serve good. Being part of the crusade is reward enough for me, but there is something that worries me. I don't want to sound like a criticizing my brothers in arms, but the Eagle Watch and other orders are focused on just one aim. The war against the Whirlwind. That's why they sometimes can overlook the smaller things, ordinary misfortunes, you know? I always liked being a wandering knight, because at any moment I could get up and go help a poor rat folk whose family had just been kidnapped, or an old woman whose favorite dog had gone missing. So here's my answer. I don't have some big important goal, but I'd be happy to help those who need it. A little bit here and there. Alright. Thank you for saving the esteemed citizens of Kinnerbus. Even though not all of them deserve to be saved, may Almighty forgive my words. Your breath casts a meaningful look at the Count Arde sitting at the nearby table. I don't really mean that, of course. I just never fail to be astounded by the way that good people seem to be perish, while the not so good prove to be incredibly, amazingly enduring. Even so, he did offer me his aid. Yes, that's not like him at all. Joining the Crusades is a tradition among Mendevian nobles, but they were in Arende was never too keen on fighting demons. The Count has a certain reputation in Mendev. He's not a pleasant individual by any means, but he's not known for any particular villainy either. The Count enjoys a life of leisure surrounded by a gaggle of social sycophants. Oh, sycophants, huh? Alright. We were always eager to badmouth the Queen at his command. He likes settling scores, too. There was a hero of the First Crusade, Sir Lant, a kind and honest man. After the end of the glorious career of a soldier, he became a wise mentor to the younger generation. Ran afoul of the Count somehow, perhaps by lecturing him about his idle lifestyle and lack of purpose. And Sir Lant died, the Count managed to buy a portion of his estate in order the knight's helmet to be reforged into a chamber pod. And, of course, he didn't keep his little joke private. The Queen was particularly affronted by it, because Sir Lant used to be her most loyal comrade in arms. I was there receiving an assignment from Her Majesty when I witnessed the exact moment when she found out about the helmet's fate. It's a small thing, but I could see the Queen's anguish at the travesty had just been made for Friend's legacy. That's what the Count's like as a person, and for his talent for survival. Do you know the story of Heaven's Edge? He was the only member of his family to escape it with his life when the demons unleashed a magical plague at the Arende estate. Alright, well, jeez. Still a lot to read. I don't know all the details. It happened a while ago, back when I was a mercenary and nothing to do with Kenabres. I only know that there was a grand feast of honor in Daeron's birthday, and all his relatives were invited along with a few other distinguished guests. Everyone died from a mysterious disease someone had unleashed on the estate, including the servants, the guards, and a number of clerics and paladins. Wow. But the young count survived, all because of his healing ability, I suppose. Daeron doesn't possess an unusually brilliant talent. Even the application of his skills leaves much to be desired. Is he trying to provoke the queen? Who knows? It could be some family matter. The Count is Her Majesty's cousin twice removed or something like that. But I think he simply enjoys infuriating people. Crusaders and Albany servants especially. Alright, well. I don't know if I particularly have anywhere that I need to go. Oh, I still gotta discuss the Great Garrison attack plan. Okay. But since I'm here, let me check. I still gotta go rest.
Watch out for trouble.
Oh, nuts. Who the hell? You're gonna fix that hole, right?
What in the name of the Green Mother's going on in this crazy town?
Okay.
Who's in charge here? You there in the armor? Or is it you, tavern keeper? Or maybe it's you, old-timer? Oh, you, I remember. You were in that ravaged fortress with all the books. You can explain all this to me. Well? What's this? I can't believe my ears. Since when do folks not recognize me when I walk into a tavern? All right. First things first. If by some chance you don't already know, they call me Ulbrig. Ulbrig Olesk. Chief of the Olesk clan. The one that gave Barzog's orcs a drubbing. But never heard of them either. I'll be damned. Is this an illusion or something? One minute I'm laying myself down for a nap in a glade one summer's day, and the next I'm waking up among ruins and flames and monsters running riot. No one knows me. But you see, my name's famous across Sarkoris. Where in the blazes am I? What's going on here?
You have heard songs that tell of a glorious victory of an alliance of Sarkorian tribes over an orcish horde led by a chief called Barzog. That was a long time ago, centuries in the past, before the demon invasion. Is it possible that this man does not know that Sarkoris has fallen? Yeah, was that you?
A statue, you say? Strange. I don't remember being turned to stone. But if it looked like a griffin, then it must have been me. Take a gander at this. Don't worry, I won't scratch you. I'm no werewolf, I'm a shifter. My powers were granted to me by the sacred griffin Erevar, who protects our clan. I doubt you've got any other griffins flying about this city of yours. Now, let me think. Strange, the memory's in there, but it's all broken up in little pieces. So, I opened my eyes, I saw books and stones around me, and you were there. Then I was flying over the city. I had wings. And then I was in this here tavern, and then I saw you again. The door would have been smarter, right enough. I was asleep too long, that must be it. My head's all muddled. I remember I was flying over the city looking for something, and when I found it, I just drove straight for it. Roads and roofs be damned. But what was I looking for? Drinks? Warriors? No, that's not it. Or maybe you. Was I looking for you?
Maybe.
That's what I'm saying to you. I was plucked like a fish from a pond and carried off to God's nowhere. All right, that's enough questions from you. Now answer some of mine. Where am I, and what's going on here?
This world's called No Hopia, and every day after lunch, we get invaded by demons.
Oh, I can't take it anymore. Oh, you got me there. You're telling me I fell asleep for 100 years. Sarkoris was swallowed by demons, and Canopus, that little fishing village, is now a fortress city. Oh, go on, pull the other one. Fine. If you don't want to tell me what's going on, don't. We're in a tavern, not in the middle of nowhere. There's plenty of folks around. I'm sure one of these people will tell me what's happening here. There's one thing I do know without asking. You've got a tough fight on your hands. I'm not one to wait on an invitation to a brawl, so if you're making ready to break some demon horns, I'm going with you. But in the meantime, I'm gonna have a taste of whatever ale they brew here.
Okay. It's like the most random dude just joined us. He's a shifter. Griffon Heart shifter. Okay. Alright. I don't know what that entails. That's one of those classes that I never really played because I questioned why would I ever want to be a shifter when I could just be a druid and probably be more effective at it. What's our strat? Shall lead the rest of my force. This is a frontal assault. This will distract the enemy long enough to let you use the secret passage and reach the Warstone. Destroy it before the demons turn Amadeus' gift into a weapon of the abyss. Most of the allies you found will join my forces, but you can expect a certain amount of support from them. The problem with Destinies is that you never know what to expect from those daydreamers. Their honorable prior, Ramian, claims he had a vision in which his gods was putting demons to sleep. I like to hope that merely wasn't a dream. Guess that's who I got. You heard what the demons said. They're going to desecrate the ward stone and blow up the whole barrier around the whirlwind. That would be an even worse disaster than the whirlwind's expansion before the Second Crusade. Not only Canterbury, but every city in the ward stone will be destroyed, including the capital. We can't allow that, no matter what. We will take it, even destroy it if we must. This gift must not become a weapon of the abyss. Alright. Okay.
Keep your calm.
I think on that note, I'm going to make use of